Although government is making progress in improving the economy, don't expect there to be any wild spending. That was the message from Prime Minister Dr. Rowley at a PNM meeting in Barataria last night. Dr. Rowley said running the country requires a series of decisions and his administration remains committed to working in the best interest of citizens. Dion Batiste has more in this report.
We are making progress and we are on our way to some element of prosperity.
Prime Minister Dr. Rowley on the work done by the People's National Movement since they assumed office. Through hard work and sacrifice, he said the country is now on its way to some element of prosperity.
What we are doing is closing the gap between our revenue and our expenditure. And as the gap sees more revenue, it becomes smaller between revenue and expenditure, and that is what gives us the pathway to prosperity.
The Prime Minister said running the country requires a series of decisions, and though the numbers are a bit better, Trinidad and Tobago is still borrowing to maintain some semblance of normalcy. He said there's no splurge to come.
Our assignment was to try to make you survive the difficult period that we are going through. First and foremost, acknowledge it, then treat with it, but have that faith that a better future is ahead for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
If the problems with the energy sector were not fixed, the Prime Minister said there would have been little chance of avoiding the IMF and no chance of prosperity in the medium or long term.
Because energy is our God-given legacy of resources which this country can market, and from the revenues from that sector we have been able to accomplish what we've accomplished as a people and to enjoy the standard of living that we have been accustomed to, and which we demand and which we claim.
Prime Minister Rowley told those present that when the PNM assumed office in 2015, they were faced with a stagnated energy sector. Dion Batiste, C News.
In 2012, when oil was riding high, the government of the day collected $16 billion in taxes from the energy sector. In 2014, it was $17 billion, and as oil prices started to collapse in the middle of 2015, it dropped to $10.5 billion. That's according to Minister of Finance, Com Imbert. Speaking at a People's National meeting in Barataria on Thursday night, Minister Imbert said in the fiscal year 2016, they got $1.03 billion in oil revenue.
You understand the kind of issue we found ourselves in? And that is just tax from oil. Tax went down from everything else because we are energy-driven economy, gas-based, oil-based economy. So once the revenue from oil and gas goes down, the revenue from the rest of the economy goes down.
The finance minister said it has not been easy and financial constraints forced the PNM administration to make some difficult decisions.
The first 2 years of this PNM government, the money we got from oil was $2 billion. The last 2 years of their government, the money they got from oil was almost $30 billion. So their 2 years, their 2014 and 2015, they get almost $30 billion from oil. Our first 2 years, we get 2.
He said the People's Partnership increased annual spending from $45 to $60 billion, even when the price of oil continued to plummet. He said the current PNM administration had to cut it down to $50 billion, which was no easy feat.